I want to expand on alchemy a bit and flesh out some of the more influential pieces of Paracelsus' worldview. He said, humans are twofold beings. We have a divine and an animal nature. If we feel, think, and act like divine beings should act, we are true humans. If we act like an animal, then we are an animal and the equal of that animal whose mental characteristics are manifested in us. An exalted imagination caused by a desire for the good raises us up. A low imagination caused by a desire for that which is low and vulgar drags us down and degrades us. The spirit is the master, the imagination the tool, and the body the plastic material. Paracelsus is on a different level. I'm inserting this gem into the conversation because the dude calls us dual beings right before feeding us a triune understanding. The fact that he does that while explaining the true purpose of imagination is incredibly important. Now, anyone who's developed their concentration can attest to the fact that it's aided greatly by imagination. Our ability to visualize is huge. You can explore deeply into yourself by simply paying attention to the images that pop up in your mind. Just know, there's times when that golden Buddha is supposed to be there, and times you should just give it a minute and it'll go away. Think of how vivid a daydream can be. The smells, the feelings, the details. This is the start of the mystic's journey inwards. It's also why we should be careful that we aren't fantasizing about things that will actually harm us. Now, this is exactly what Paracelsus is alluding to. It's the manifestation of our heart's desires that raise or lower our mental vibrations. So if you control your thoughts, then you control your energy. Whatever you focus on becomes your reality. Controlling your thinking is controlling what is brought into your life. It sounds complicated, but it's really as simple as this. Where attention goes, your focus follows. If you constantly wish ill will in everyone you meet, you will eat bitterness at every meal. If you are more animalistic in nature, then your carnal desires are obviously more prevalent. But if you truly desire understanding your place in the divine realm, then your spiritual self will arise from within. Now, I don't mean that like the woo-woo kids. This isn't
think good thoughts and good things will happen, bruh.
In fact, my path is one that was bred in pain. Like, I've never had that peaceful life where everything makes sense and it's just all good all the time. It's not me. It's not even spiritual work, in my opinion. Mysticism is exactly that. Work. It jerks you around and it'll meet you with heartache and anguish that are meant to be shown acts of forgiveness and love. Like, you gotta rise above whatever's going on, right? No one is coming to save us. Jesus ain't doing what it do to make us okay with our gay uncle or whatever kind of traumas we went through. We are going to have to accept that their pain was given to us and work through it before we pass it on to other people. And y'all can fight me if I'm wrong, but our song is one of exchange. We share everything. And I mean that in the deepest of senses. So when we're in the trenches, we must remember their pain is exactly that. Theirs. Not yours, not mine. Theirs. It's up to the individual. So don't accept it and live from there because it's not yours, right? That's where these lame sayings like be the change come from. You are not the unspeakable horror that formed you, but the forgiveness you gave it. Now, don't ask others to be at peace if you still keep the flame to whatever maimed you well lit, hidden under a mask of, I don't care. What are you doing, bruh? Imagine they have everything you want and heal from whatever they caused you and stay true to the spiritual truth of do unto others. That's why it pops up in so many cultures. It's that important. Note this lesson well and write it on your heart. To abstain from distractions of the flesh is to focus on the divine spark in all things. Naturally, your understanding of creature and creator or creative creatures would deepen as you focus your imaginative power on high. Like less time being a wounded animal and more time as a rational human being capable of understanding and forgiving. Anytime you're caught up in black and white thinking, just remember duality is merely a facet of experience. We consider ourselves dual being because our thinking tends to be dualistic. We forget mind, body, and soul. That's how we characterize ourselves in full. Now, it's clear by the way Paracelsus closes his thoughts on our triune nature that he understood mental alchemy in relation to the triangle. He saw a disregard for the full spectrum of existence as the flaw that leads to dual thinking. That's why he closes with, the spirit is the master, imagination the tool, and the body the plastic material. What we're talking about here is the three essentials of alchemy. These subtle philosophical principles of nature are called sulfur, salt, and mercury. Salt is the body of a thing that provides the space for sulfur and mercury to act. Sulfur is the mind of a thing that conducts the functions of consciousness and intellect and the true will of our personal desires. Mercury is the soul of a thing and contains the vital life forces that bridge the gap between body and mind. So the three interact in a way that would be almost impossible to separate. Sulfur is the will that is reflected by the mercury active within the salt. This is the mechanism of spirit manifesting physically, right? Christ calls us the salt of the world because we are flesh and blood children of the earth who house the divine. Now, by overlapping the second triangle and creating the Star of David, we're making a physical model we can actually see, one that alludes to an even bigger picture of existence. Someday we'll touch base on the 6 days of creation in the physical world because Kabbalah has a few masterful pieces every seeker should at least see. But think about the triangle as an emanation from beyond in a formless and infinite mystery. The Father of Lights becomes the sulfur traveling from above to below, which Mercury, the Ruach HaKodesh, radiates within us. Salt being the space where matter and spirit are one. Anyways, moving on, mental alchemy simply states that one can use sulfur, consciousness, to direct mercury, life force, through salt, the body. We see the concept of vibration between spirit and soul taking place within our physical being really taking shape here. By using our objective conscious in this manner, we are striving to create and fortify an incorruptible spiritual body reflected in our physical being. This is why the Holy Trinity is a symbol meant to add a layer of understanding to our place in the cosmos. The divine spark we tap into through our mental faculties emanates from on high. So we're capable of manifesting that power even if it doesn't come from us because it is us. If consciousness didn't have a desire to be, we wouldn't be here. See, we're these tiny fractions of the divine living our best lives, right? As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. It's a statement we all know well. The all exacts its will, the desire to create, and breathe spirit into the universe. The spiritual life force just is until the light of our consciousness awakens and can observe it. That's polarity, exercising tension between the two poles of consciousness and life. Neither of these things would mean anything to us without a physical body, would they? But we're all three. All right, so next time I'll double back and discuss a bit of the Rosicrucian philosophy behind mental alchemy. There's a polysemic language in alchemy where both pre-chemists and budding occultists hid all sorts of hidden gems. We'll also take a look at how to apply the knowledge to our everyday lives, because that's why we're really here, right? I would have started there, but it's too confusing without a bit of background understanding on the basic philosophy of mental alchemy. In the meantime, keep breathing in light and living in love. Peace.